All right, buddy. So what's your name and where are you from?
Matt Clark. I'm from Stouffville, which is basically just the suburbs of Toronto. I'm about 20 minutes north of Toronto.
Okay, in Canada. And
Yeah,
okay, in the U.S. we have states, like and then within the states we have cities
yeah,
or counties. How is that like that in Canada? I know you have what provinces?
yeah. We have provinces and territories. So when the north top end of Canada, where there's not many people living, those are the territories.
Okay,
Uh, and then you have British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Prince Edward Island.
oh well, damn, that's a lot. And
Yeah,
those are provinces.
yeah,
And within the provinces, so those are kind of like the states of the U.S.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, and you have what do you call the cities or whatever within them?
Just cities.
Oh, cities. Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know if they were called something else. All right, so they go by provinces, and each province has its own penitentiaries and jails and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the provincial systems are different in every province. There's little minute differences. The federal system, the rules are the same, but there's different prisons in each province. So if you're from, say, Ontario or Quebec, you'll most likely stay in that province unless there's a bed issue. And
Okay,
sometimes they might ship you across the goddamn country.
okay,
Yeah.
I understand. I got you now. All right, man. So you did quite a bit of time in Canada's prison system. How long did you do there, and what'd you go for?
So, like, I've been charged with all kinds of things. I got a lot of convictions. I got probably about 60 convictions. But it's mainly like burglary, drug charges. I have some driving stuff, but recently it's been break and enter here, which is would be probably burglary there.
Okay.
Uh, uh, so I've done three federal sentences: 5 year, 9 months, 1 day; 3 years, 2 months; 4 years, 4 months. And then I've done a bunch of provincial, and it all equals up to 17 years total.
That's crazy, man. And how old are you again?
37.
37. You pretty much spent half your life in lockup, man. That's crazy. I mean, I
That's
spent a
not.
lot of time too, but that's more than double the amount of time I've done in lockup. That's wild, man. I hope you're doing all right now. You're doing all right.
Yeah, man. I've been home. What is it now? Like 15 months. But at first I went to treatment. I got out on parole. I got parole, which I normally wouldn't have got because I'm a third-time Fed guy. But they gave me parole to go to a treatment center. So they let me out the length of the time to my stat release, which is your mandatory, basically. Uh, so the program I had to do was 6 months. They let me out that long before my mandatory to do the program. So I didn't have to stay in longer. But I consider that basically being home. Like, even though I'm confined there most of the time, I still get passes, get to go home on the weekends and
Well, that's
things
all
like
right,
that.
man. That ain't
Yeah,
bad.
so I count
It's
that.
kind of like
Yeah,
parole, parole.
yeah, I got five
Uh,
months left on parole, and then I'm done.
and do they have like felonies and misdemeanors like in the U.S. or what? Like a felony is the worst kind of charge you get. Misdemeanor is the lowest. Do they have the same type of thing
Well, we have
over there?
indictable and non-indictable. So basically, like, I think
Okay.
uh, anything like the way that they differentiate our time, anything 2 years or more is Fed.
Okay. All right.
So
But they don't have felonies out there. They don't use that word at all in the system.
no felonies.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into the
We have.
prison.
So can I say one thing? Sorry, we
Yeah.
have
Go ahead, man.
schedule.
Go right
We
ahead.
have we have schedules. So you have Schedule 1 charges, Schedule 2 charges. Schedule 1 is violence.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Schedule 2 is non-violent.
okay. That makes it a little more makes a little more sense to me. All right. So let's jump into the prison side of things, man. Tell me a little bit about the prison system. Was it segregated by race? Was there a lot of gangs? Is there a lot of gangs that's running from like the U.S. type of gangs, stuff like that?
I mean, we do have like Bloods, Crips. We have some Spanish gangs too. but I wouldn't say it's like, I mean, there is a gang issue, but it's not in all races really. In Ontario prison system, you know what I'm saying? So there's a couple major groups of gangs that in the street have politics, and they lump them together in the jail. So if these guys are good with these guys and these guys are good with these guys, they put them with who they get along with, so there's no polys.
Okay, so do they separate them at all?
Like not really. Like if you're with a gang, you'll be with your gang.
Okay, but they'll house them all together.
Yeah, they'll house them all together. Yeah.
Okay, and there really ain't too many problems with that.
Nah, I wouldn't say there's never, like, obviously the more higher up in security you get, the more politics you get with that kind of stuff. I'd say there's way more gang issues if you go out west with the natives.
Okay. So you've seen like white dudes, Bloods and Crips?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But but there's different sides to that, right? Like there's the white dude that, you're okay with him being a Blood or a Crip, and then there's the white dude that's kind of like, really, And what we have a lot of is, we get a lot of guys from out west in Ontario. These guys are like little scared little guys, mainly white guys, that have gang tats all over their faces. And what happened is they signed up and then shit got real and they ran from it. You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean.
They never last. Those guys.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It sounds like they're everywhere,
Everywhere.
Well, tell me, man. Let's start off strong, man. What was one of the scariest moments you had in lockup out there in Canada, man?
Well, I had a moment where we jumped this dude. He called my range a goof range, and anybody who's from Canada knows that's fighting words. He's basically calling you.
So calling someone a goof is pretty much a very bad word to call someone. Just that's kind of like how it is in California. Out here in the U.S., the word goof is pretty strong. I never knew about that crap until I started doing this whole YouTube channel. But
yeah, it's the worst word you can say to somebody probably here. Yeah, for sure. The goof word is the worst.
Okay, and you said someone called someone a goof or something. What were you saying? Yeah,
so the guy called our range a goof range, and then left.
Oh, so hold on. I hate to stop you. All
right.
Range. I'm guessing that is what, like a cell block, correct?
Yeah. So in this particular jail, which is Lindsay Central East Correctional Center, each pod is like a pie shape, and there's 6 ranges, and the front of the range is all glass, so you can see all the different ranges, and in the middle is the copper bubble, right? So the guy calls our range a goof range and then just runs off the block, like cracks off the block. So we're sitting there stunned, thinking, what the hell's going on? And we go in ourselves, and then at lunchtime the guy comes back in. So we're thinking, what the hell? Like, is this guy crazy? Anyways, the cell's cracked. 7, 8 guys are at his door, cups and socks. So they jam wet toilet paper in these hard plastic cups that we used to get. And you jam as much in there as you can. That's going to weigh a substantial weight. Put it in a couple socks. And he got that. And, it kind of backfired on me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really know.
You were a part of it.
Yeah, I was part of it. Yeah.
You got a couple swings in there, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not down. I'm not down with the word. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And the way he's just throwing it out nonchalantly, like he's just dissing everybody, like he doesn't care. He thinks he can do whatever, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the guy ended up becoming my friend. But anyways, before that, it turned on me. So I saw him down on one pod, and he hailed me up, like as if in saying, "What's up? What's up?" Like he forgot that I was part of the issue, and I didn't want to be a fake person, so I told him, don't hate me up. I'm one of the people that was stomping on you, So, he was not very happy with that, and maybe 3. I can't remember the exact amount of time later, but I went to this 5 pod, which is the sentence side, and I'm cleaning my cell one morning, and this guy comes to me and he goes, "Hey man, you're wanted at the window." So I go to the window, and it's this guy. and this even bigger guy, and they're giving me the bottom of the throat. You're dead.
Yeah.
I turn around. Half of my range is behind me.
Half the cell blocks behind you.
Yeah, half of my particular range. So it's probably about 15 guys. You know.
Okay, and they were pretty much signaled by the two dudes to, hey, take him out.
Like, it was more like you get him to come fight me, right?
Yeah.
Get him to come to my block. But that wasn't happening. You know, it's not happening. Like, the guy's window warrior, the coppers ain't having it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it became make me leave the range, bounce me or cook me, you know, one or the other, right?
Okay.
So these guys it wasn't really their problem. So they didn't really want to cook me. They tried to bounce me. So they told me I have till after lunch to be gone, you know?
Yeah.
So I went in my cell and I had a cell partner, Skinny, and he had given me a chunk of plastic tray, you know, and now, like, specific, even more so now, they don't even take the trays in this prison, you know? You could have 15 trays in your cell. You use them as benches. They don't even care.
Yeah, I was in a jail like that before.
Because there's carbon fiber buck knives in there. Like, nobody cares. Nobody's using a plastic tray, really, right? But back in these times, this jail was kind of new, so there wasn't this kind of leniency back then. So it was kind of rare to have a piece of that. Anyways, the guy's named Skinny. He gave it to me. He saved me because when I came out, they approached me, and just the sight of that made them not really want it, you know? Yeah. The thing is, it's not their beef, you know? They're just trying to do the solid thing for this guy, but none of them want to get hurt in the process of doing it, you know? So
you weren't paranoid after all that shit happened?
Yeah, bro. And something I forgot to tell you before is I actually had one homie on the block from road. You know what the man tells me?
From what?
Like, I had a homie who was my friend from the outside.
Oh, from home, okay.
On my range, who walks around in the street with two pit bulls acting like a bud boy. And he comes up to me shaking, telling me to crack because he's not about it. So I was on my own. This guy, so, you know, that's a whole different situation.
So homeboy left you hanging, huh?
He left me hanging, yeah. But he's not, you know, we talked about that at a later date, me and that person. Yeah. So he's a fraudulent person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
tell me, man, how is who dominates what in there, man? What nationality, I guess you could say, or race is got the most numbers in Canadian prisons?
I'd say that whites have the highest numbers, but I'd say in Ontario it's still basically run by black dudes, by black guys, because they stick together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have like 6-8 black dudes, and they're punking out like 30 white dudes on a range.
Why the hell is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. It's fear of the unknown, I guess. But most of the time, like, from what I've noticed, like 80% of people, regardless of the race, if you really check them, they ain't about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the time, the bullies, the people that are acting like tough guys, aren't the ones that are truly about it. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. There are bullies that are also maniacs and will kill you, you know, and that's just the way it is. But, you know, I'll tell you a story, actually, okay? So, Joyceville.
Hey, hold on, man. What the hell are you rattling down there?
What do you mean?
You grabbing a bag of chips or something?
Oh, no, oh, sorry. Is that gone now?
I think so. I don't know. It sounded like a bag of chips.
It's my computer, man. It's like fish bubbles. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I still hear it.
Really? Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, I had just like a little piece of paper in my hand.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's crazy how it's micing like that.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story, though. So in Joyceville, like 2011, just before I got there, April, there was like these 10 white dudes kind of going on like a little bit like white supremacists in a like primarily black run jail. Okay. Yeah. So these guys are going hard. You know, they feel like they have numbers, and they're messing with somebody on a block, and you know, they get approached by some high level black dudes who tell them, you know, this, cut it out, right? Like, this is not going to fly. So cut it out. And so they squashed it, thinking, whatever, right? So these guys go up to the block at night, and Saturday morning is normally the time when the gym's empty. Just usually the older white guys doing laps, drinking coffee, reading the paper if they have it, watching the news, whatever, right? And this particular morning, they didn't notice that there was like 70 or 80 black dudes all in institutional going down. And as soon as the bars closed, all 70 attacked. And they literally just attacked anybody who they didn't know who was white. They caught one dude, smashed his face in with a 40-pound dumbbell, stabbed him like 40 times. They caught a couple other dudes. They trapped them in the lifer room. Because back then we had group rooms where each group had like their own room. So you had like the Native Brotherhood, the Canadian Caucasians.
Hold on, the Native Brotherhood and the Canadian Caucasians.
Yeah, these are all like groups inside the pen, but like groups that are even like okay in the pen. Like we have drives, we sell stuff. You have like your own little budget, Yeah. They have Canadian, Caucasian, Native, Spanish, Asian. All the BIFA, which is Black Inmates Friends and Associates. Those are guys that don't want to be Muslim, or aren't Muslim anyways. Not necessarily don't want to be.
Okay.
But yeah, so these guys attack. And they catch these couple lifer dudes in the lifer room and light the couch on fire that they have the room barricaded in, and these guys get smoked out, and they literally just mangled everybody that they got their hands on. Jail was locked down like 4 months. It was a pretty hectic time. At that time, there were some race polys in Joyceville.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty crazy little thing. What do you think sparked it all?
Yeah, it was white supremacy that sparked it.
Oh, you talking about those 10 guys that were starting all that shit?
Yeah. And the funny thing is half of them ran and left their people that weren't even involved to get cooked.
7 or 80 dudes, man. That's a lot of dudes,
Yeah. It's like basically like half the half the Bout It black population.
So what they do? They say, hey, they wrangle up everyone that was every black dude in there and said, hey, let's meet up here.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And handle business.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of
And the thing is, they're not even all in the same gang. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
It
turned into something else when the white dudes started clicking up.
Exactly.
And preaching all that mumbo jumbo shit.
Yeah.
All right, so as far as just chilling, let's say it's a regular day in the penitentiary, you're allowed to congregate with other nationalities, correct?
Yeah, you can, yeah, for sure. The only rule really is that you're loyal to the people that you're rolling with, right?
Okay. Who'd you roll with?
So I mainly rolled with white guys, but not solely white guys. Like I have friends of all races. So, when I was younger, I rolled with a different crowd of people than I do now. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, I rolled with a lot of dudes that were a lot more about it. And, my life started heading in a pretty violent path. So I shifted, because I'm not really about that. Like, I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to front. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. And that's good. A lot of people do front, man. Have you ever heard of a term that I learned recently from what it was called from the UK? I don't know if they do it in Canada. They probably don't, but it's called dog fighting. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
In prison? It's like a big thing in the UK, man. They make people strip down and fight like dogs chained up by their necks. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I'm about to have a guy on from the UK, man. It's absolutely unbelievable what they do over there called dog fighting. I didn't know if maybe it was something popular in Canada as well, but
see here the feds can't do that to us up here.
What do you mean? No, it wasn't the correctional officers or anyone doing it. It's the inmates. The inmates.
Really?
Well, yeah, and they would have to headbutt and bite each other like dogs, and another inmate will have them by a leash.
That's crazy.
And they would watch them fight completely naked.
We do have Friday night fights in the buckets.
Okay, what's that about?
So, like, if you're in a provincial jail, that's a little bit more rough. So, if you're in like the Toronto South, which holds 2,500, except there's two different sides. So you could be called direct or indirect in provincial. So
Okay.
if you're in direct, you get a big screen TVs on your block, your door's open all day, there's couches, but you get in any problems, you go to indirect. And you go to indirect, and it's all gang police, violence, and crazy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
That brings up a good point. So they have direct and indirect. It's kind of just, I guess, segregation units. I guess if you get in trouble, you just go to this more dangerous block, and the direct is actually where the pretty easygoing inmates go.
Exactly. Like they try to give you incentive to limit violence.
Well, of course, yeah, that's how it is. Always. Speaking of incentives, do they have smoking in Canada?
No, they do not. Smoking has been out since May 2008.
2008? I swear, man. 2008 is about the same time they started taking it out of Virginia prisons. And someone I just had on a show yesterday from Australia, he said that they just took smoking out their prisons recently as well. This has got to be some kind of worldwide non-smoking thing, you know? And it makes you wonder, like, why? Why are they so, you know, it can't be about our health. It probably has to do with something about they're tired of paying all the freaking cancer patients into the medical or something. I don't know, but why would it? It makes no sense on why you would want to take away smoking from everyone, man.
Well, I think up here, a part of it is that people were complaining and filing lawsuits. And then they tried to make it so we could only smoke outside. But obviously, you know, you give a bunch of convicts cigarettes and tell them you can only smoke outside. That's not going to happen. Like,
they're going to smoke while they're taking a shower.
They're smoking during the smoke breaks inside. You know what I'm saying? So I will tell you this, though. So back in the craziest prison I'd say ever, like in my lifetime in Canada, was probably the Don Jail, which is a provincial jail. It's in Toronto, downtown Toronto. It's closed down now because they had a bunch of murders like right in a row. But I was on the block. I got arrested 2009, just before Christmas. And I went on the block and I got snaked by a homeboy who, you know, made me go down on his crap, tried to anyways. And I ended up in the Don Jail. So this guy comes on the range. He's a big, you know, not super tall, short, stocky black dude. I don't want to say his name just because, you know. But this dude comes on. He's acting like a bully. And I guess he was on the range before. And when he had a bunch of people there that were there to support him and ride for his cause. But this time he was alone. And he felt like because he had punked these guys out before, he could punk them out now. Anyways, about, you know, halfway through the day, he sit down playing cards and he's got a buck knife in his sock. You can see it.
Buck knife? What do you mean buck knife?
Like a carbon fiber buck knife.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. What is that exactly before you go on?
It's a knife that won't go off a metal detector.
Oh.
And it's
sharp. How do y'all get the carbon fiber?
You just go to a Home Hardware, man. They got the blades. Just buy the blades.
Hold on, Home and Hardware? What the hell?
It's like a hardware store, Home Hardware, a Canadian hardware store.
In prison?
No, on the street. And guys just take them, they bang them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they suitcase them up the ass.
Yeah, but now they have those. We have body scanners in every provincial now here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, but you know, back then they didn't anyway. So this guy's got this knife in his sock, and he gets slapped in a chokehold. At the time that cell 18 was open, and he got dragged down, and guys were. The case has been dealt with, so I can speak on it.
Yeah.
But you know, he was double stomped to death, dragged up to the front of the range, and his dead body just thrown on a mattress at the front of the range, and. You know, that was a crazy situation because, you know, they're calling this guy
stomped to death, huh?
Yeah. Well, they were.
He didn't even get a chance to grab his carbon fiber jank.
No, man, he's screaming for his life. He was screaming for his life for about 15 minutes, and then there was about 15 minutes after that where they were still in there where he wasn't doing no screaming. You know.
Well, damn, I guess that will wake some people up about Canadian prisons. It ain't all about maple syrup, is it?
No, man. Nah. See, the thing is, this is the thing. A lot of people don't realize that Toronto's the third biggest city in North America.
Yeah, and my parents have been to some wild cities, and they said they almost got jacked a few times in Toronto. They were very worried for their life at one point. So that woke me up a little bit. I'm like, damn, Toronto's doing shit like that. That's crazy, you know?
Well, we got a lot of gun violence right now because there's some gang politics in the street, and these guys don't care. These guys are busting out downtown Dundas Square, right in the malls. These guys are just letting it go.
Yeah. How is the when you become a felon? Do they take your gun rights like the U.S. does?
Yeah, I got a lifetime weapons ban. I can't even have a knife.
Is that for everyone that catches, I guess you could say, higher level charges that you were
basically once you become federal, they're taking your DNA.
Okay, so if you get 2 years or sentenced to 2 years or more, your gun rights is gone. They're taking your DNA and all that good stuff.
Like, we don't have much gun rights here. Like, it's hard to get a gun in Canada, even if you're legit.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not hard to get a long gun, right? Like, you can get a gun to hunt with. But you'd have to go through some pretty heavy processes to be able to have a handgun. And the most squeaky clean record going. And I don't think you can even buy any kind of machine guns in this country.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I'm sure the U.S. will be just like that soon enough, my friend.
But we still got them. They're still here. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't gonna never stop the gun trade. It's just like drugs. You know, they can try their hardest and slow it down dramatically, but it will never stop. It's something that's. Go ahead.
Anytime you can sell something for that amount of money, people are gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's better. I'll tell you what we have better here than what you guys have, though. We have better marijuana program going on up here.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, all y'all legal now, ain't you?
Well, we're totally legal now, and I can get an ounce of the most fire quads going for like $180.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's cheap, man.
Yeah.
And that's probably just like full price. I'm sure people are selling it for even cheaper.
Well, I can get like regs, 80 an ounce, 100 an ounce.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Cheap.
And that's
parolee,
legally.
And you could smoke as a parolee.
Oh, so see, that's what they need to do with the U.S., man.
You got to get your card, though.
What do you mean your card?
So you got to get your medical card. It's easy to get. So anybody can get it.
How do you get it?
You go through this doctor. It's called Light Resources, and you just do an online application. You do a little video meeting with a doctor, and you're good. But you have to, if you're on parole, you have to buy from the legal dispensaries.
Yeah. Is it true that felons from like the U.S. ain't allowed in Canada?
Yeah, and I'm not allowed there.
What?
I'll never be allowed in the U.S. again in my life.
That's stupid, man.
Yeah, it's like that to Australia too. Can't go to Australia either.
That's crazy as hell. That's messed up, man. Well, look, I'm not going to keep this video going too long. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit of what you got going on? I know you got a YouTube channel, and you're actually, you know, speaking about lockup and stuff that's going on in Canada. Okay, Canada needs a voice too. Every country, I believe, needs a voice when it comes to incarceration. And tell me a little bit about it, and tell me your channel name, man, so maybe some people out there can go check it out.
All right, I got a YouTube channel called I Am the New Matt Clark, so it's The New Matt Clark. You know, I'm just doing some videos just to kind of raise awareness and just tell my story. And, you know, I'm not shooting for crazy numbers or anything like that. For me, that's not what it's about. For me, it's if I can just reach a couple people and help them, that's what I want. So.
Yeah, I know that's right, man. And don't forget to send me, well, you already sent me the link, and I'm going to pin that in the comment section for all the viewers. In the description of the video as well. Go check him out. And look, man, just keep doing what you're doing. You got a nice job. You got a nice place, man. You're doing good for yourself. Just Stay away from the drugs. Stay away from the crime, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. You know, I've been sober now 4 years, and I appreciate the opportunity. If you ever do find a way to get up to Canada, I'll show you around. You know, like Toronto's beautiful, bro. The girls
Don't
up
you
here
put
beautiful.
the battery in my back now?
My girl's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So you should come up. You know, I know you're married, right?
Yeah, I'm married, man. I'll be married for 10 years next month.
You might be able to get a pardon. Be able to come up here on a temporary waiver or something like that.
Yeah, go down there and check out the prison system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I'll show you Kingston Penitentiary, bro. That's the oldest pen in our country.
I like that hat, man. What is that? Toronto Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, man.
I need to get that. What is that, black and white?
Black and white, all black and white, yeah.
I need to find me one of them. I like that hat, man. I don't know nothing about the team, but hey, I like the hat.
Don't worry, I could find one for you.
I need to find a penguin too. A penguin's one. That's my favorite hockey team.
Listen, I got all that shit up here. We got all that stuff. Don't worry. If I can find one, I'll find one. I'll send one to you. Well, I'll talk to you later about it.
I know that's right, man. And look, keep in touch. I know I'm probably gonna have you on for a part 2, man. I enjoy talking with you. Anyone that I enjoy speaking with and I kind of connect with, I like to bring them on more than once. And I'm sure you got plenty more stories. You've been locked up for 17 years of your life. Maybe you can tell me on the next round a little bit about juvenile for anybody out there in Canada that might be facing some juvie time or something. But big salute to you, man. Is there anything else you'd like to shout out before I dip on out?
Well, I just want to say free up everybody in the Canadian prison system.
I know that's right, man. And once again, man, salute to you and everyone else out there in Canada watching.
All right,
a lot of fans out in Canada, man. And this was a long time coming. You be easy out there, all right?
All right, respect, man.
All right, be easy out there.